you there. Get on board with despair.
Hello everybody, Professor Red Shoes here, doing part 2 of do-it-yourself electronic drums. And today's kit's kind of interesting. Oh, first let me thank everybody for visiting me on YouTube and subscribing to my channel. Very kind, motivates me to do more. So keep her up, keep coming back, alright? Thank you. Alright, back to business. This kit here, electronic drums, were made with Remo drum pads, okay? I call this the plumber's kit. Why? Because I used PVC piping to make the frame, and then I bolted the pads on, and I also hooked up the connectors on the back here. I'll do a close-up for you so you can see how that looks. Here's a close-up of the Remo drum pads. The back of them fastened to PVC piping. Just made myself a very inexpensive stand to mount these on with bolts threaded into the center of the pad, which already has a thread provided. And once again, this is the front of the pads. Oh, don't fall on your head. There we go. So not much to it. Let me see if I can pull back a little bit on the head here. You can see the white head that it comes with. The piezo is under that, in between the head and a piece of sponge that's provided, and then the rubber of some sort on the top to deaden the sound. And let's get a stick here. I think you get the idea. Yeah. But on these pads, I've also cut out mouse pad and fastened that on top of the white head so that it wasn't as noisy. You know, quiet it down a bit. Because your sound is being picked up by the piezo that is sandwiched underneath the head. All I've done is take the piezo elements that I talked about in part 1 and mounted it in the center underneath the heads. And that coming out to connectors here. Let me get this for you. In part 1 I told you about fastening the wire to the positive and negative. When it comes down to the cable, down to the connector, all I've done is I've soldered the positive wire, the red wire, onto the tip, and the negative ground to the sleeve of the connector. You can use any connectors you want. I like using the 1/4 inch guitar style connectors. So the idea behind this drum kit was that I could carry it one-handed into a situation and sit it on a stand, and what it gives me is snare, tom, floor, hi-hat, crash, ride, crash. So I've got 8 drums ready to go, plugged into a drum module. On this particular set, I could plug it into the Roland Sound module. Elisa's, I have an old Elisa's DM4. Elisa's also makes a drum module now that is very inexpensive. I don't know the model number, but you guys can source that out. So this is the plumber's kit. All done with inexpensive Remo drum pads. I chose some different sizes. None of that matters to the sound because it's all about the piezo element sandwiched underneath the heads. So thanks everybody for coming by, and there is a part 3 coming up where I show you a very cool method of using piezos to make electronic drums in part 3. This has been part 2. I'm Professor Red Shoes. Bye now.
Your time